All right, all right. Hey guys, welcome back to the Underground. This is Interactive Chat Volume 23. We're the first one, in fact, since PSVR2 has launched. Let's get the nice sizzle reel going to feel a new reel. Hope everyone's had a great week so far. Man, I'm a little rusty here, so bear with me, but I wanted to get back into the swing of things of doing this show. We're going to talk about some PSVR2 news. We're going to talk about some maybe upcoming games, some goodness, all the latest on everything PSVR2. And of course, I love to interact with you guys here, let you drive a little bit. What is up, Mark Smith, Frank the Bunny, Chrome Colossus, Jason Unknown? Nice to see you as well, my friend. Appreciate you being around. Kill Artist, what is up, dude? Good to see all of you. So anyways, tons of stuff that's been going on, man. And yeah, I want to bring this show back. So, I don't know, just lots to talk about. And I feel like, there's a lot that, I do Mondays, I do Gamescast Live on PSVR2 without parole. But there's a lot of news that comes out after that. So a lot of stuff that I need to rant about and get off my chest. And like I said, man, some awesome news that we've gotten even just today. So we're going to go through all of that. But first and foremost, thank you guys. Recently hit 10,000 subscribers, man. Woo! Feels good, dude. A lot of hard work. 5 years of covering nothing but PSVR. And now, of course, PSVR 2. Just because I love it, man. I do this shit for fun. And because I really believe in it. And, I still feel like it's so ahead of its time. But eventually more and more people will get to see the greatness. But yeah, man, to see more of you guys pouring in here. What is up, guys? Really, really good to see you. Nick Mulo, what up, man? Thank you. At least I got a moderator here just in case any of you guys get rowdy. He'll zap you. Be careful. 120 frames per second. Native, dude. So nuts. Yeah, man. So let's kick things off. Let's go ahead and get into the news because there's a lot to talk about. And let's start things off on a really, really high note. And that's Dreams is dead. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. That's not good news. No, of course, Media Molecule has announced that come September 1st, they are ending future support for Dreams, which is a big shame, man. That means that they've basically confirmed that there's no PS5 version coming out. There's no PSVR 2 support happening anymore. There's no multiplayer. And it's just a shame. Because honestly, when I think about Dreams, I think of it and I'm like, there's a billion ways this game could be successful, right? I really feel like there's a million different paths to success for this game. And they really put a lot of work and effort into, making the tools for the game, making it something that anybody, myself included, who made a snowboarding game and a couple other ones, to make any game you want. And they gave it VR support. It is truly incredible. So it sucks that they couldn't figure out a way to make it more successful. I really think, despite how amazing it is, I do think it was pretty poorly managed. They focused... I see what they tried to do. They tried to focus on building a community and stuff, but it wasn't really just getting enough people. It didn't pull in a lot of extra people. So that being said, the good news is that Dreams will still support the regular game that is there. Like they'll still allow you to play and create games, and that's going to be really important. Who knows? I have always wanted to try to make the best VR game ever made in Dreams, and I've always had this dream of doing that. And at least I'm happy knowing that while it sucks I can't do it on PSVR 2 or PS5, that I still have the ability to go back and do that one day, especially if there's a huge drought. It may be a long time before that happens, but I would love to go back and create a badass game in Dreams. So I'm just happy I'll still be able to. But yeah, like I said, feels like there's a million ways that game could have been more successful, and they kind of, the game itself is great, but the way they managed it being a sustainable property, they totally screwed up. So sucks, but oh well. So in other better news, guys, there's been a lot of news this week actually, and that is PSVR2 is getting its first official PlayStation Plus title that's coming. It's launching and will be part of PlayStation Plus if you have PlayStation Plus, and that is Humanity. Now, I don't get it, man. I am not the biggest fan of puzzle games, as some of you know. But man, so Humanity, we've been waiting on for years. I've always liked the concept. It's by Enhanced Games. It's kind of like a weird god-like game where you're controlling crowds of people as a dog. And yeah, man, well, I wouldn't say nobody, but a lot of people I see are not very interested in this game. And I don't get it, man. This game gives me classic kind of unique puzzle game vibes, and I really liked the demo that I got to check out. I streamed it. If you didn't see it, I streamed it on a Saturday night live stream. David Parker, what's up, man? Says yes, looks great, looks like Lemmings. Maybe that's what it is, man. I was a big fan of Lemmings growing up. I really was. I loved Lemmings, and this is definitely a lot like that, mixed in with some I don't know. It's not necessarily that it's like trippy visuals, but there's a lot going on the screen, and it looks pretty cool. And I really enjoyed, from what I played, the demo. I don't think I'll get into like the level creation stuff and all that. I'm not usually into creating levels and whatnot. I'm more into playing the designed game for me. But it's pretty cool that it's there. And, for what it is, now if you have PlayStation Plus, I don't know if they've actually described what tier of PlayStation Plus you need, but yeah, man, it's pretty cool because I know a lot of people that probably weren't going to check out this game before are probably going to check it out now. So I really enjoyed the demo. I can't wait to play more of this. I really liked it. And that is coming May 16th, just 1 month from now, just barely under 1 month from now. Pretty cool, man. What did you guys, if you played the demo, what did you think? Mark Doust already answered that question. Played the Humanity demo in VR when it came out. Total pass. Fair enough. I mean, look, not everything. Yeah, most people here don't seem to care about it. Stingray looks interested. I thought it was great. Maybe I just like things that are, I don't know. I'm weird. It's funny that like I typically don't like the puzzle games that everyone else likes, but then I like this and nobody else likes it. I don't get it, man. I'm just weird, I guess. My brain is wired backwards. But I'm really excited to check this one out. I think it looks pretty cool. What I played, like I said, I really like. So good stuff. But that's not all, because we got the some news, a little bit of an update about VR Skater. And this is a game, if you watch Monday's Gamecast, you know that I gave it a little bit of a shout out. I'm definitely, this is like one of the smaller indie titles that like I'm really looking forward to. Yeah, they posted on the PS blog with a little bit of an update, and they said the game is coming this summer. So this summer we're going skateboarding, y'all. It's gonna be great. We did get a little bit of more info on it as well. They have they showcased, along with the PS blog thing, they did showcase a brand new feature that's coming to the game. I think it's brand new, and that is, and I've got the picture here, the big ramp. Yes. So the game is mostly focused on street skating. However, they've added this extra big ramp mode where you just get a ton of air. I love this, man. I love this. I live for stuff like this in VR. I have nothing against, people liking a casual experience, people that, have to go with more tame stuff like the job sims and stuff. But this is the stuff that gets my adrenaline freaking pumping, is when you throw me off a big ramp in VR and I'm 40 feet in the air and can pull off a bunch of tricks. This is also kind of a classic, skating kind of extreme sport trope that they would have. It just gives me like PS1 vibes, because I've always talked about how I'm such a big fan of Cool Borders, and Cool Borders of course had like the big half pipe and stuff, but doing this in VR is what really has me excited. But yeah, the other things that they talk about, so I'll go back to the trailer here. Some of the things they talk about is using the adaptive triggers. Man, let me tell you guys, I don't know about you guys, but one of my favorite new features of the PSVR2 is absolutely the orb controllers. They're so cool, man. They feel so good. I don't know. It's weird to me how lightweight they are. It's like, how the hell do they get these so light? But they feel so light. They feel so well balanced. And then, of course, they have the really, really awesome haptics and adaptive triggers in them that I just love. And this game, of course, will take full advantage of that. Now, they mentioned things like turning left and right, grabbing, you'll get some. But you'll see here on the screen, like they're skating on different surfaces. And I just feel like they can, it's an arcade simulation hybrid kind of thing. Obviously, it has to be like a little mix of the two. Where you can do tricks by, swooping or flicking or flinging the board, your arms around to do different tricks, and do stuff like, kick flips and stuff. You can also do grinding and stuff like that. Like, I really hope that they nail the haptics in this game, because I think they could really pull off some cool shit with some good haptics going on different surfaces. You see them like grinding and skating over tiles and stuff. You can make some really, really good feeling skateboarding in this with this. And yeah, man, like I said, big focus on street skating, but they've got the mega ramp is what they call it. I got to check my notes a little bit. They talk about it being fine-tuned mix between arcade and simulation. So we got more people coming in here. What is up, guys? Welcome. Happy Thursday. What is up, GC, the Diet Pepsi Cat? Richard Barth, hey, Jay, a little under the weather. Hope you feel better, my friend. Glad I can make your being sick suck. Just a little less. Chrome Claus says probably by sacrificing battery life. Yeah. The battery life is something I haven't had too many issues with that yet, but I am worried. I feel like eventually there's going to be something where I'm going to be playing for so long that I run out of battery. I've been very fortunate, actually, that I play 2 to 4 hours. I mean, I played Demeo. So that's the game I've been playing a lot. The reason you guys haven't seen me a lot, I mean, of course, my work and taking care of real life stuff has been taking up so much time. That's been my biggest problem, is I haven't had enough time to play as much as I usually want to. But some changes happening at my work. I'm actually starting a new position at some point, so I'm really excited about that. That should free up a lot of time to be able to do more stuff and focus on some of the stuff I'm passionate about and enjoy. And so the problem is right now, they can't just take me out of my position because the whole thing will collapse if they don't. So they're bringing somebody in. But yeah, man, Demeo, what a great game. I mean, I got my Demeo partner GC in the house tonight. I need to play Demeo with a lot more of you guys, but yeah, I've been playing that a lot lately. That's been my fix, and man, it is so addicting and so good. And holy crap, I've been trying to figure out the final boss, because with the launch of PSVR2, they launched the Reign of Madness campaign, which is the 5th and final one. And holy crap, is it hard. The final boss is brutal. I mean, it's like you know, when it comes to like the strategy, having a good strategy and stuff, the final boss is like use everything you've learned, and you have to, and it's kind of trial by death and fire, where you have to really try to figure it out. And there's secrets of stuff you can learn to make it easier, but I haven't beaten him yet. I spent like 3-4 hours last night just playing it over and over, trying to beat him, and I still haven't done it yet. So I love it. It's a little stupid hard, but the thing I know is that for people that like really challenging games like myself, when you overcome that stuff, when you finally beat that stuff, it is like the biggest dopamine rush ever, and it's so satisfying, and it's addicting, man. It's what I love about super hard video games. What up, Robert? What up, Peter? Good to see you, man. Thursday, Salvador, my dude. Tom, Emily Baxter. Good to see all of y'all. Emily not happy about humanity. It's free. It's free. Well, if you have Plus. Oh man, but yeah, man. Demeo has been my fix lately, and of course I've been playing some other. Now that I've kind of gotten past the big launch games, I finally beat Horizon. I beat Resident Evil Village. I've been playing lots of Gran Turismo 7. Now I've finally had, we're over a month in, and almost 2 months now. And I'm still digesting the launch lineup, and I've just been busy in any free time I have playing that. It's been amazing, man. Honestly, like, I freaking love my PSVR2 so much. I'm really, really happy with it. And like I said, my biggest problem right now is like, which is probably the same problem most of you guys have, is like, I just don't have enough time. Like, I'm too busy doing real life shit that sucks. And the little free time I have, I try to spend it playing VR, but I do any chance I get, and still sinking several hours in at least every day or two, which has been great. What are you guys talking about? Of course, let's throw it to you guys a little bit here. Mark Dow says bouncing between Pavlov, Saints and Sinners, and Ragnarok. I still haven't picked up Ragnarok, but so if you missed Saturday night live stream, Ragnarok, this weekend there's going to be no Saturday night live stream. I'm doing 3 on and then 1 off, so I get a little bit of a break. But when we come back the following Saturday, I'm going to actually be purchasing every single game on the library. That includes Kazuna AI, Touch the Beat. That includes Ragnarok, which I'm not so much dreading as much as I am Kazuna AI. And just everything else that I don't know, Tokyo Chronos, Tentacular, getting all those. So when we come back, you'll be able to choose every single game from the library that you want to. And I do have Afterlife as well. But I'm probably I might do like a late night spooky stream for Afterlife and have some fun with that. Tom's on his 3rd run of RE8. I'm so jealous of you, man. What up, Gabriel? What up, Looper? But yeah, man. So moving on in the news, we got some awesome news. There is, of course, this little survival game called Green Hell VR. It is definitely one of my most anticipated games coming. And they announced that they're currently working on a 4-player co-op mode, which is really, really cool. Now, I'm not really the biggest multiplayer guy. I prefer single player adventures, single player stuff most of the time. Single player adventure, whatever it is. That's just my jam, and that's just what I like the most when it comes to playing games. That being said, survival, and especially a very difficult survival game, kind of turns a lot of people off, especially from the casual audience to like more of a casual audience. People that don't enjoy being frustrated and get frustrated easily. Co-op really helps something like this. So 4-player co-op being out of this is awesome. The game also looks pretty freaking stunning. I love, I don't mind. Unlike Emily Baxter, I don't mind cartoony games. I don't mind stylized art styles. But here's the truth: is that works better when we've had a plethora of realistic games and stuff. I think there's, we need balance. It's just like the AAA games argument. There's Yes, AAA games are like what get people to buy headsets. It's what people gets people's attention and everything. But indie games are super important as well. Some of my favorite games so far have been, the launch library has been a lot of indie games I've been enjoying. But yeah, this game graphically looks really, really cool. I love how hardcore it sounds. Like, it just sounds difficult as hell. And yeah, I love survival games in VR. Before VR, I never thought that drinking water, bandaging yourself, or, trying to stay sick, eating food, I never thought any of that was really fun until VR, with the Solus project. And like, it just became this kind of like, it's kind of like just this in the back of your head gameplay mechanic. It's not necessarily, yes, it's great in VR that you get to physically do these things, which is awesome. But just it adds a layer of strategy to the gameplay that I think is really, really cool. It's not just about what you're having to physically do and build with your skill set, but having to mentally prepare and strategize. That I think it just adds another layer of like gameplay that has been something I've been really, really enjoying. I love Song in the Smoke. I love Saints and Sinners. And, a lot of people I hear, they don't like these mechanics, but I do. I think it's pretty awesome. But yeah, man, so I don't think we have a release date or release window for Green Hell VR. I don't remember if it was like, if anything, it was like maybe summer or Q3, something like that, I want to say. But I'm really, really looking forward to this. The game looks fantastic. It's a big open world. So it's got a single player story campaign. Hopefully by the time it comes to us, it has the 4-player co-op so you can play it with friends. And yeah, it seems like a really, really fun adventure to kind of go on. Let's see. Kill Artist is playing Song in the Smoke and Saints and Sinners Aftershocks right now, then sweating starting part 2. Yeah, RA Village was definitely amazing. I want to go back and replay it over and over. Like I said, I did my top 15 VR games list. Thank you guys for, watching that and supporting that. That video has been doing really well. It's at, I think, like 17,000 views right now. And yeah, man, that was another one that was just really hard to do because so many games at launch. Let's see, Sunny in VR, what's up, man? Says, can we get reviews on various gun stocks? Somebody will, right? Do you want my opinion on it? Like, because if you just care about my opinion, then maybe I'll do it, but somebody else will probably do it. I've never been really into the gun stocks things. Also, they look so weird for PSVR2. Of course, you don't see them. It's about how they feel. But they do look really weird because the orbs are not your typical standard controller thing. They're not designed, clearly not designed for some kind of stock or whatever. But I know tons of people have like a ton of interest in those. I feel like I should because I've got the sharpshooter. I would probably do a sharpshooter review before I did a gun stock review. Oh man. Joshua Taylor, interesting take here, says game length has become an issue for me. So anything over 40 hours loses its gloss. Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that because I was thinking about how a lot of the really successful VR games, unless I'm not mistaken here, the first thing that comes to mind is a lot of the more successful games are the ones that are very easy to pick up and play. Your Beat Sabers, your Pistol Whips, and a lot of rhythm games are finding success with that. Yeah, I typically like really long games as long as they're like fleshed out. Like, I don't like games that overstay their welcome. but yeah, anything under 5 hours to me feels too short. That was the problem with Fracked. While I love the game, it was like under 5 hours. Same with their other game, Phantom Covert Ops. Awesome game, too short. Yeah, I can't, Blood and Truth. It was about 5 hours, but it was 2.5 hours of gameplay and 2.5 hours of cutscene stuff. And I gotta have at least 5 hours, man, for a game. Especially if you're going like full price and stuff, I feel like the more time you spend with the game, the more memorable it is, the more you kind of get accustomed to it and everything. I feel like it has a more lasting impact, but I do understand that most people don't always finish games, or they don't have enough time. They don't want to, or whatever. But I definitely am a fan of myself, I think to feel like a full game has to be like 12, 15 hours. That's the sweet spot for me, is like 12 to 15 hours, 13 to 15 hours is like to get the full game experience, in my opinion. But not saying I can't have fun with shorter games too. I certainly have. Super Hot was like hour or 2 hours something. But I do think short games work well in VR, especially the ones that you can just pick up and play and don't have to dedicate a bunch of time. It's less friction, right? That's the big thing we've talked about. Is VR's biggest weakness is friction, frustration. Anything you can do to alleviate that makes it a better experience and more successful experience for people. I would like the haptic vest as well, Mark Doust. Re-perfected Insanity, Preda Vendetta Platinum. Yes, sir. 260 hours in Preda Vendetta Rising. What up, Awesome Tatum, my dude? Says, what's up? So it's time to play Red Matter 1 one more time? Well, let me tell you, my friend, it just might be, because today, Red Matter 2, now this is a Quest trailer, so it's going to look even better than this. Vertical Robot has announced that Red Matter 2 is coming to PSVR 2 very soon. This is really, really exciting. I figured it would. I'm so glad they didn't take forever for this to come to PSVR 2, because the first game took a long time to get to PSVR 1. But let me tell you, man, when it did, it was good. It was really, really good. For those who don't know, Red Matter is a sci-fi adventure puzzle game, pretty much, where it has a lot of VRAF mechanics, where there's lots of grabby things in the world and interact with. It's got some really great VR mechanics, a lot of stuff to interact with, and it's all set in this weird kind of eerie sci-fi setting. And the first game was fantastic. In fact, I consider it to be one of, if not the best looking PSVR 1 game. Whenever that conversation came up as to what is the best looking PSVR 1 game, I would often say Red Matter. Like, to me, it was always between Red Matter and Wipeout Omega Collection. When it comes to like graphics, I mean, there was times, a game looks good when you can sit there and like you stop in your tracks and you're just staring at glass in the game. Because that happened to me with Red Matter. Like, I was like walking and by a window and I was like, what? And like, I like put my face like right up close to it and everything. And I was just like mesmerized. I mean, it was damn near photorealistic, how good this looked. And that's the exciting thing about this game. Vertical Robot has announced that this game has 120 FPS with no reprojection. And by the way, I feel like reprojection is the new like mirror thing, where it's just like everybody. But hey, this gives developers a huge advantage now. all they developers can come out and say no reprojection, like, 90 frames per second, 120 frames per second, no reprojection, and people freak out. They're like, oh my god, no reprojection. Like, so that's kind of cool, using that to spin a positive out of something. It's one of those things. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not a technical guy, but like I don't even know, really think I noticed reprojection very much. But I know a lot of, really people that are like into every single little technical aspect, care a lot about it. It's like a deal breaker for them. I don't know. Maybe my vision is just perfect for VR. Being nearsighted and having astigmatism. Maybe it's just a match made in heaven, because like I don't notice any of the shit that people talk about ever. Mostly ever. I do sometimes, but yeah, man. So 120 frames per second, reprojection, no reprojection. That's gonna look freaking great. This game is super cool. Like great atmosphere, super great soundtrack, great atmosphere, really like twisted sci-fi tale, super cool and stylish, looks phenomenal. And even the trailer here, I mean, this is like what the Quest version, the Quest trailer that they're showing right now, and even that looked amazing. And so this is where it gets really, really exciting. The Quest version supposedly looked amazing. This version has it's going to use foveated rendering with the and so it has like extra clarity and everything, which is really, really great. Any game that uses that, it just really helps the game look nice and clear. I don't want to see blurry games on PSVR2. The hardware is capable of looking nice and clear and sharp and highly detailed, as we've seen. So anytime I see a game that's like blurry, I'm like, there's no excuse, man. That is all on the software side. That's on the developer. And it's like, man, figure that shit out before you release your game, because it's gonna get torn apart if it comes out here and it's blurry. It's just, we spent $550 for a reason, because we want that clear shit that look good. 4K remastered textures that are going to look awesome. And then, of course, new lighting, shadows, and bloom. Basically, long story short, one of the best looking PSVR 1 games, sequel, is probably going to be one of the best looking PSVR 2 games. And I'm really, really excited. But it's not just about that. It goes beyond that. Like I said, this game really hides the fact that it's a puzzle game really well. Yes, it's a puzzle game, but you don't feel like you're just doing puzzles after puzzle. You feel like you're going on an adventure. Everything feels tactile. You feel like you're working towards something. You're actually using the tools that are at the space station and everything. Is that combat I see? I see a little bit of shooting. Well, that's new. I've, of course, avoided any spoilers I can from this game. I didn't even know there was shooting in this. That's ridiculous. So a little bit more stuff going on here than I thought. Super cool, man. This says coming very soon, so really excited about that. A nice, high quality game to look forward to coming soon. In fact, the lineup of games this year, there's no, we haven't had like any big word about Sony's first party stuff, which is the next big announcement. We launched the console launched with 3. It launched with Resident Evil, Gran Turismo 7, and Horizon. You could throw Saints and Sinners in there because that's might as well be a AAA game. But that's the next big thing that's going to get everybody's attention, like everybody. But the truth is, there's a lot of really high quality games that are still coming. Like just because they're not like, they have this reputation of a big AAA studio, big AAA IP, doesn't mean that there aren't badass games coming. We got Firewall. As I say that, Firewall's there. I'm really hoping Firewall turns out good. I'm really interested to see what turns out better between Firewall and Crossfire Sierra Squad. I know that sounds crazy, but never say never, man, because you never know what's going to end up being great and what's not. a lot of the games we have high expectations for come out and underwhelm, and then a lot of games that at least going by the launch lineup, window lineup, a lot of games that you don't expect or don't really not on your radar end up being like freaking phenomenal. Yeah, man. So I don't know. I hope they execute Firewall really well. I know a lot of the talk is about this, exactly like what Mark Dow says, one button press reload equals poop. I don't think it equals poop, but one of the reasons I play VR is for stuff like manual reloading. That's one of my favorite features, is being able to do that. I love VR for the things that I can't do in on a flat screen, right? I love reaching out and grabbing doors. I love, the feeling of cocking guns and, the like holding the rifles and stuff. I love all that. So I absolutely prefer that. I don't think I'm ready to write off Firewall for that just yet. Although I will say, without a doubt, that is a super disappointing thing to learn. That being said, I don't know if Crossfire has the manual reloading stuff. I think they do have a simulation mode in Crossfire. And so, but I don't know if that just pertains to like the damage you take, like a bullet or two and you're done. But Firewall, I'm crossing my fingers, man, because we need this game to be good. If this comes out and disappoints, that's going to really suck. It's going to suck because, Firewall 0 Hour is literally one of the best VR games of all time, in my opinion. I had 360 hours in it. And it was amazing, man. It was truly incredible and was so good. So I really, really hope it turns out good. When all this stuff was coming out at first with Firewall, though, I was a little concerned about some of it, though. The stuff like throwing the grenades with the eyes and like pressing a button. In terms of like immersive gameplay, I just don't know. I'm a little torn on it. It's like, yeah, it could probably work pretty well and stuff. Maybe the grenade will go where you want it to, which is an advantage. But I don't like the idea of anything that will take away from the immersion. That's why we play VR. The more tactile, the more immersive it can be, the better. The eye tracking stuff with Firewall was dope, though. The fact that you could cover your hand or cover your face with your hand and like block a flash grenade, and if you don't, it like your whole screen goes white. That's gonna suck, by the way. The HDR on you're gonna have to turn your I highly recommend, before Firewall even comes out, you might want to turn your brightness down just a little bit, because that's gonna freaking blind the hell out of you. But I do love the idea that you could close your eyes and block a flash grenade. That's pretty cool, man. That's like next gen kind of stuff I'm looking for. Piotrek says graphics of Firewall Ultra also look dodgy. From the trailers and everything, they look great. The problem is we don't know what it looks like from the headset, and like if it just looks like how the trailer looks, or if it's even if it looked like the first game with higher resolution, little texture updates, lighting stuff, it's gonna look phenomenal. But I hope it looks good. Again, first and foremost, as a next gen headset, that's the very first thing we need, is just good, clear graphics with some good new next gen textures. A perky game cat, what up, dude? Says, hey AJ, do you use just a wet cloth to clean the rubber where your head rests on the headset? No chemicals is recommended, I hear. So I actually I don't even use a wet cloth anymore. On PSVR 1 I did use wet wipes to clean the rubber part. Now I have like a microfiber towel, and there's one side that's got like the little bristles and stuff, and the other side's a little bit smoother. I use the main side of it for the lenses, and then I use the other side for the rubber stuff and just wipe any crap off of it from there. If it ever gets to the point where it looks really nasty or anything, or if I sweat a bunch into it, yeah, I might take it off and wipe it down a little bit and clean it. I was very I cleaned my my PSVR 1 headset a lot. But whatever you do, for the love of God, don't ever clean the lenses with anything other than a dry microfiber cloth. We got a couple tips here, man. Thank you guys so much for your support, dude. I'm just happy you're here hanging out, having a good time. Feel the magic, hear the roar. Thunder Game Cats are loose with the $2 donation. Says, can someone do my dishes? I can. I'm actually really good at doing dishes. So yeah, man, you paid me $2, so now I feel obligated to do your dishes. So let me come over and do them. Nihilist Ride the Game Feline, what up, my dude? $5. Thank you so much, man. Again, just it means so much, man, that you guys are so supportive all the time. I appreciate you guys. AJ, love you, man. Hope this Thursday cast becomes a regular thing. I'm into it. Hell yeah, man. I'm glad you're enjoying it. This is the return of interactive chat. So yes, the goal is to do this every Thursday. I'd like to do it every Tuesday as well. It might fluctuate between Tuesdays and Thursdays. I don't really know. Or just whenever there's some breaking news. I want to get my thoughts out there immediately. And talk about it, talk with you guys, hear your opinions, and we just all share our own opinions together about what's going on in the world of PSVR2. Speaking of which, so there's a couple games coming out pretty soon. Like I said, Afterlife is, I think, out now. I don't even know. But I have a key for that, and I want to do a late night horror stream, which will be really fun. Walkabout Mini Golf got announced. It is coming May 16th. That's pretty cool. I didn't play this game a ton on the Quest, but I thought it was pretty good, I guess. Now, controversial opinion here. Look, man, I would probably be a little bit more excited for something like an Everybody's Golf that had like multiplayer and whatever. But there's no denying that Walkabout Mini Golf is a fantastic game. From what I've played, it is super fun. I hope it looks even better on PSVR 2. I hope they touch up the graphics a little bit. Because gameplay wise, which is the most important thing first and foremost, it's there. It's good to go. The courses are great. There's I think there's over, I thought something said there was like 16 courses. What's the price, says Steve Irie. What are you buying? I don't know, man. I don't know what the price is going to be. I think it was pretty cheap on Quest, but I wouldn't be surprised if it gets like a $5 hike or something on PSVR 2 with all the new content that's been added to it. They've added a lot of stuff on there. So, but at the end of the day, man, I don't really look at price. I look at the game. I mean, I guess I do. But yeah, no, I definitely do. But if a game is like good enough, like I don't even give a shit. Like even when it was on Quest, like I bought Walkabout, I bought Demeo, I bought Star Wars, I bought Resident Evil. Like if the game was good enough and a fair price, I'll get it. The only thing I don't like is overpriced games. That's the only thing I don't like, which I don't think anybody likes. Nobody in their right mind would like that. But sometimes I do try to go out of my way to buy a game just to make sure I'm supporting the games as well. Looper, can't believe it's volume 23 already. Let me tell you something else, Looper. I don't ever mention this, but for Saturday Night live streams, last Saturday Night live stream was Saturday Night live stream number 92. So we are approaching 100 SNLs very soon. So pretty cool, man. Pretty good stuff. And again, I just appreciate you guys always being so supportive. Just like Silver Nexus with a $10 donation. Good God, man. Thank you. Says, just a fan. Love how you just know what makes VR good. Keep streaming. Thank you, man. everybody's different. Everybody likes different things, but I think one thing that I never thought I would, I think one thing that gives me a little bit of an advantage is that I played a shit ton of games growing up, like a lot. And I beat a lot of games too. And I've played a lot of different games, and I've really learned a lot from them. And that does give me a huge advantage, having a lot of experience in just as a pure gamer, man. And, I'm a hardcore PlayStation gamer. And so I have a feeling that a lot of people that enjoy my discussions, my content, or whatever, are also a lot of PlayStation gamers as well, maybe Nintendo gamers as well, because that's just what I grew up on, like, and played my whole life. So, tons and tons of it. That's how Brian and I became friends. Was talking about retro games and our love for Nintendo and Super Nintendo and PlayStation 1. But thank you, man. I see that's your first super chat. It says celebrate. Yeah, man. That is awesome. Thank you, dude. I appreciate you being a fan and being just a friend as well. Emily Baxter, the hashtag cartoony game witch game kitten. I can't say that. 2 months and still haven't played my VR2, AJ. Gasp. What? What do you mean 2 months and still haven't played your VR2? I don't even know what that means. Does not compute. I seriously, I don't, no comprende, Emily. Aside from doing stuff that I have to do, whenever I'm not doing stuff I have to do or just completely exhausted, I am playing PSVR2. Damn right. It's so good. It's so freaking good, man. Like, and it's amazing to me that, like, just seeing what they were able to do a couple years into PSVR, and the fact that, like, I don't even think people realize that PSVR 2 is like what it's capable of. Man, wait till you see what it's fully capable of, because holy crap, like this was definitely a soft launch, and still, even as a soft launch, it's pretty mind blowing. I can't wait. Dead Ringer 2, Dead Ringer, the game cat. Shout out to Dead Ringer Juniors, by the way. How they doing? When we gonna play some Eagle Flight again? Are the servers still up? We'll play some Eagle Flight at some point. So it would be great if you do this often, hopefully every week, man. That's the goal. Like I said, when I get busy, I can't always have time to edit videos and stuff. So, it's easy just to kick back and stream and have fun with you guys, man. So, Go D, damn it, Go D, what's up, man? So, yeah, like I said, man, speaking of which, there are a lot of exciting games this year, and bigger stuff than what people realize, bigger stuff that people think. It's not all just, that's the thing, is there's a lot of indie games, yes, but there's a lot of indie games that don't seem like indie games. There's also a lot of non-indie games. We are still waiting for a big PlayStation. We've seen now, I think we kind of know what Sony's going to do when it comes to big AAA quality games, big first party titles or third party titles that are like of AAA nature. Sony's going to be saving that for their big stage event. So I've said before on Gamescast and stuff, probably one event during the spring, or at least I'm hoping, between spring and summer, we'll get at least one. We have to. It'd be crazy if we didn't. But I'm hoping for one spring event, one summer event. And this is where I feel like they'll announce their big AAA first party stuff. Still have some state of plays with some big announcements and stuff. I've kind of alluded to before that I'm aware of, a few games that are, I think are pretty big deals. But I can't say any more than that. But yeah, there's going to be some exciting stuff for sure. But some of the games, so if we look at the PlayStation Store, actually, a bunch of new games have popped up. There we go. A nice little surprise. We got some new games have popped up on the store that give us a look of kind of what's coming around 2023, and some exciting stuff here for sure. We've talked about Hubris before. It's a sci-fi adventure, seems pretty cool. This Journey to Foundation game, we also just talked about on Monday. Man, if they really execute this properly, like this could be really, really cool. I know a lot of people out there that are, fans of sci-fi novels and stuff. I am myself. I like a lot of Kurt Vonnegut Jr. and a couple other things. But this is, of course, Isaac Asimov. And this game is based on the books called Foundation. And there's some really, really cool looking stuff here. One thing that I think I didn't notice at first, that I noticed later, if you really look deep into this trailer and take a good look at some of the environments and the backgrounds, like right here, look at the mountains and stuff in the back. Look how like nice they look, like and the backgrounds and stuff. I think something that I might have missed the first time while seeing this trailer is how potentially stunning this game could look, with the environments and how nice they look. The character models look a little bit hybrid. They almost look a little bit comic booky, but it's fine. If you look at the actual environments, especially with some of the spacey stuff going on, man, if they really nail this, like this could right here, right there, man, look at that. Like that could look freaking phenomenal. And I'm a huge sci-fi nerd, so anything in space, I love almost anything in space. But yeah, they talked about some of the different, this is definitely one of the more narrative driven games, that's coming. And, they've got this system in place where it's supposed to be a big deal about the dialogue that you choose or the way you choose to play can affect the story. It seems like they're trying to have like a consequences system for the actions that you take. So we'll find out how well they actually execute it. Hopefully it turns out pretty good. But yeah, it is Archaeac. Archaeac makes pretty good stuff, man. So I'm hoping this is it's been a couple years since they've released something, and it seems like this is what they've been working on for a while. So I hope that this is as good as it looks and could potentially be, because it looks pretty sick when you really see the potential it has. It's got like the adventure element to it. Pretty cool stuff, man. I see your tips too. I'm going to get back to your tips in a second. But another one, man. So another one that showed up on the store is, guys, I don't know about you, but I'm really, really excited about this one. And that is Nock. This game, if you haven't seen it yet, is basically soccer with bow and arrows. Now, I don't know how many Rocket League players we have in the house tonight. I played a lot of Rocket League, and I was a huge fan of that game. And this gives me so much like vibes of kind of like Rocket League with bow and arrows. Even the stage designs look the same. It's not necessarily it seems like a simple game to me on the surface. They kind of describe it as easy to learn, hard to master. But guys, I think this game looks freaking fantastic. And I don't know, like I'm a huge fan of Rocket League, like I said, and I feel like this could be the Rocket League of VR. If it turns out as good as it potentially could be. And I love that there's like some strategic elements to it. It's not just, it's not just shooting the bow, but then there's like stuff like where you can shoot like these like bricks. There's like these like bricks and stuff, obstacles you can put in the way to block people. Yeah, man, I am very excited to try this one out. I know some of the people that played this on Quest, said they weren't the biggest fans of it. Like, yeah, Mark Smith, like what you're saying there. But here's the thing, though. If you're not like a fan of soccer or, football for many of you, then I can see this not being like totally interesting to you. But I am. I played soccer for 11 years. And if you understand the basic mechanics of it, then you can have a blast with it, I think. Plus, on PSVR 2, I feel like it could also look really, really good. So I am very, very, this is also kind of like a VR Skater. You got Nock coming. This looks fantastic to me. I'm really excited about this one. Of course, another one is the somewhat recently announced, we had, what is it called? Project Wingman. Project Wingman was like leaked on the PlayStation blog in Germany or whatever. That dude got fired, and then was taken down. Luckily, the developers, they've kind of unofficially, I wouldn't say confirmed, but they're hinting that Project Wingman is coming, that they're waiting to announce it when they have a solid release date, is what it sounds like. And hopefully that's one of their big stage titles. But in the meantime, I'm also looking forward to Ultra Wings 2. But the one that seems like it's coming the soonest is Aces of Thunder, which is supposed to be a kind of airplane simulator combat thing. This game looks pretty dope, man. It looks pretty cool. It's by, of course, the people that I think, was it called War Thunder, that a lot of people were really big fans of. But I love aerial combat. I think it's a great, it's a great, another great fit for VR. Let's pull up the page here and see. It says the ultimate VR air combat simulator. Wish list us. So the wish list page, is it available? It is the wish list page is there. Experience the thrill of aerial combat like never before with Aces of Thunder, the upcoming VR game made specifically with capabilities of PlayStation VR2 in mind. It'll be focused blah blah blah. It looks like it's mostly an online game. So this might be where it kind of falters for me, because I'm not the biggest online multiplayer person. But it says with different competitive online game modes available, such as team versus team, single duels, you'll be able to test your skills against other virtual pilots in intense aerial battles. So it doesn't sound like a single player campaign, which might be its biggest downfall at the end of the day. But if I get at least, a handful of hours out of it that are really, really fun. I mean, just like Star Wars Squadrons. Star Wars Squadrons had a campaign, but it was all about the multiplayer for me with that. That one, I actually enjoyed the multiplayer a lot more. So could potentially be really, really cool. I think it'll be fun. I don't think it'll have the longest lifespan, but I do think it'll be fun for a pretty long while, at least a couple months, maybe, hopefully longer. But I like to get, especially games that are like multiplayer focused, I like to get in on them near launch, because that's just where it's totally booming. And you get the best experience with these kinds of games at launch, because unless it's Firewall, the multiplayer lobbies don't last very long. Kill Artist, the Dreamweaver, GameCat. Thank you so much for the donations. It's got to go. I'm off work the rest of the week, so I'm going to try to beat Aftershocks and buy part 2. Hell yeah, man. You're the best, dude. Thank you. Aftershocks is really fun, from Saints and Sinners. And so is part 2 is mind-blowing, man. Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 was so amazing. And, man, really, let me just say, really satisfying ending. If you get to the ending of the game, it is totally worth it. Very satisfying ending, in my opinion, and pretty mind-blowing. So I hope you get there. Emily Baxter, hashtag cartoony witch game kitten, thank you so much, says, waiting for Switchback to get fixed for your first game. You are holding out for Switchback, eh? Switchback is okay. Again, I could get past the blurry graphics. It's the second half of the game that really killed it for me. The second half of the game, they really feel like they stretched it out and they slowed it down to make it more lengthy. I would have rather them just made it more fun and shorter, to be honest with you. That's all they had to do. And at the end of the day, they should have just remastered Rush of Blood. Still the king. All right. Legendary, what up, man? Thank you so much. So shout out to my boy Agent. No. First of all, shout out to you, my friend. And shout out to all of you guys, all 95 of you here tonight. What is up? Happy Thursday. Happy still PSVR2 honeymoon phase. It feels good, man. I'm almost over the honeymoon phase, but I don't think I'm completely yet. We need Wipeout Omega and Super Stardust Ultra on VR2. Even Next Machina would look so lit in VR. Hope Sony teases them soon. Wipeout Omega Collection, absolutely. Super Stardust, I've never been huge into that, but it was fine. Wipeout was, of course, like one of the greatest games of all time. Next Machina, I'm a big fan of Next Machina. Actually, I love, synth, cyber, whatever you call it, sci-fi. Next Machina was fantastic. I would love Housemarque to do Returnal in VR, please, for the love of God. Figure out some way. I would take a spin-off of Returnal in VR, like all day, every day, whatever. I want that gameplay in VR. You can do it. Just do it the way it's supposed to be done, and don't do it where it's compromises too much. You can totally make dashing in different directions work totally fine, and it doesn't have to be in a ring around enemies. If you catch my drift. Let's see. TJ Radburn says PSVR2 has a lot of story-driven real games compared to last gen, and it's barely been out. It does have a lot of good games, man. A story-based shooter. Yeah, that's a good point. We don't. There's a lot of focus on PvP, co-op kind of shooters. I guess there is Resident Evil Village. That is a good story-driven shooter, a very good one. I don't know why my mind was going to like the Metro series or something, but yeah, we need more Resident Evils. We need Metros, Resistance, Kill Zones. We need more of those in general. Those are good. People like shooters, man. They're really popular for a reason. They feel good in VR too. But I also like variety. I like a variety of stuff. That's why I'm excited about games like Nock and Journey to Foundation and Ultra Wings and stuff and Skate VR, because I like to mix it up. I don't like everything just to be the same. Let's see here. Lots of love for Rocket League, which is very, very good. What up, Wild Hour? Good to see you, man. Corey Mousy. Corey, I did like Call of the Mountain as well. I actually had a lot of fun with Call of the Mountain. I'm just kidding. The climbing was literally my least complaint that it had. No, I liked, again, not to beat a dead horse, but I think what I loved about Call of the Mountain is when it really showcases that PlayStation first party cinematic adventure excitement stuff, because it does that in a lot of parts, and that's what made me really, really like it. A lot of little things I can nitpick about that game all day, but those moments made me like it overall. All right, so there's some other really, really awesome games. I've talked about Hellsweeper a bunch. I gotta give it some love again, man, because again, Devil May Cry, one of my favorite IPs of all time, and this is like the Devil May Cry gameplay in VR, pulling off sick combos, doing wall jumps, mixing shooting and sword fighting. This also has like some magical powers you can do. You're in hell fighting demons. What's not to freaking like about this game, man? I am so stoked for this, and I cannot wait. I also was a huge fan of Sirento, a huge fan. Now, you know, this game typically does end up being a little bit more on the arena combat side. I don't really care, man. I mean, I do think that kind of limits it a little bit in terms of like its scope and stuff, but and especially what it potentially could be, but at the same time, the gameplay looks incredible and it looks super fun. I hope they take their time and polish this up, make it feel really good, make all the weapons feel good, and if as long as they nail the replayability here, nail the replay value, they're good to go. Which it just looks like so much fun. You know, a lot of people like used to like Gorn. I always said I liked Swordsman VR. Swordsman was like my Gorn. This is, and then I like Sirento. This is like the next thing up in terms of like arena combat games. How do you elevate that? You do it by, you know, even with the Move controllers, Sirento had one of the best locomotion systems, the most intuitive, fluid, and fun freedom that it gave you was just amazing, man. And this looks to be a lot in the same vein, obviously same developers. By the way, they did mention that they kind of gave a wink that they might be bringing Sirento to PSVR2 as well, which would be pretty cool. I think it'd be really cool if they brought that as like a really cheap title, cheap remaster or something. I'd be down for that. But yeah, in terms of gameplay, I don't think this is definitely one of my most anticipated in terms of just pure gameplay goodness. This is stuff that I really, really, really love, and I cannot wait, man. I pretty much love just about everything I see about this. It looks so good. So Crossfire Sierra Squad, I mentioned a little bit earlier, you know, we've talked about Firewall before. I think Crossfire Sierra Squad has a lot of, like, this might sound crazy. If this is the good thing, is that if something goes wrong with Firewall, or if something goes wrong with Crossfire Sierra Squad, we have the other one to hope for that it turns out good. Let's pretend for a second that Firewall turns out disappointing or bad or something in a way. Then we have Crossfire to look forward to. Now, this is what I do know, is that I have friends that have played this. Creeper Betty and Wes have played this. They've told me about it. They have given me reason to believe that this is going to be pretty damn good and really fun. First of all, they've confirmed to me that it looked crystal clear, that it looked really, really nice. I don't know if they said crystal clear, but I just asked them, I was like, it wasn't blurry or anything, right? They were like, no, it is not blurry. So good news there. It's going to look pretty good. It looks, I remember Wes on Gamescast saying it looks kind of like close to a, you know, he kind of alluded toward it looking like a AAA game. So that's the good news, is that graphically it should deliver. It looks really exciting, man. It looks really, really exciting. Creeper Betty was telling me that that she thinks that this game is going to turn out really good. And I asked about the gameplay. She said the guns feel really good. The graphics look really good. It was a lot of fun. They were really, really impressed. In fact, she said the whole booth that played this around, was it GDC? GDC. A lot of people walked away from this game really impressed. So, I just love how over the top, how action packed. It looks like a freaking Michael Bay movie. And I mean that in the best of ways, in terms of like gameplay. They also said like the AI and stuff. The game did tease like having really good AI. And they actually did say that they did mention that the AI is actually pretty good. So that they react well, that they take cover and stuff. So could be really, really good. Like I said, man, if everything goes wrong with Firewall, hopefully it doesn't. But if it does, it's nice to know that we've got a backup that might even be coming out before Firewall. I think this looks great. Lots of modes. Of course, the one disappointing thing was that they said that there's like a main campaign or whatever, and it's not designed around co-op, 4-player co-op or something. It's been so confusing. They're like it's the main campaign is single player, which is actually fine by me because I'm again a single player gamer. But there is like a 2-player mode, and then there's a 4-player horde mode. So it's got a variety of modes, and we'll see. You know, hopefully they're all good. I think Betty told me that the 4-player horde mode or whatever was pretty cool, and there's only like a few. I don't even know if I can count on all fingers how many like horde modes I've ever liked, but there's been a few. I've liked stuff like Gears of War. And maybe, I don't know if Left 4 Dead counts, but Gears of War is, when I try to think hard about it, is probably the best like multiplayer horde mode that I've played that was really, really good. I mean, it was just as good as playing like any single player campaign. And yes, Crossfire Sierra Squad is confirmed for summer. I have a feeling this game is going to be like $30-$40, if not $40-$50. But, you know, if it's got the content, if it's got the polish, I'll be fine with that. I will gladly pay buku dollar for higher quality, higher density of content. So there's one last game that I want to spotlight, and it is a behemoth. Let me tell you. That's so bad. I'm so stupid. Anyways, Behemoth, man. So the one last big game. I like how this whole chat has turned into just like the top 10 something anticipated games. There's more games coming too. I didn't even mention some. Dude, Behemoth is, of course, now this is only a cinematic trailer, but here's the thing. This comes to us via probably, in my opinion, the best developers, best VR developers out there, I think, bar none. Both Saints and Sinners 1 and 2 were freaking phenomenal. Again, because they don't only nail the VR mechanics. I mean, they do VR mechanics better than anybody. They, when it comes to having stuff to interact with, some of the haptics, you know, that they use, the collision that they do, they're so freaking good about the quality of everything. But here's the other part, is the game loop and the gameplay and the structure of the game. They also do really, really well. And this seems like no exception, man. Although we don't have any like actual footage to go by, this is what they're showing here looks really, really promising. There's a couple things I want to point out. Number one, it looks like it has a great environment. You know, again, graphically, I'm expecting good things here. I haven't seen Skydance has some of the best graphics in their VR games. There's the Souls-like combat where they're like, it's just brutal, man. It looks miserable, and it looks like so much fun. It just looks brutal and miserable with the gameplay, but obviously they're very physics driven. They have they nailed the melee combat almost better than, if not better than anybody in VR. And using that to like battle other like soldiers and stuff. There's like zombie looking things you see here. There's blocking, there's melee, all sorts of things, picking up an arrow, stabbing somebody with it. Pretty cool. But here's the other thing, is the climbing. Something that, without going into any spoilers, something that I realized Skydance is pretty good at is doing climbing. There's something in Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 that involves climbing that was like one of the best climbing experiences I've ever freaking had in my life, in VR. And they've built a game around this now. Not only climbing these harsh environments, they've got this grappling hook where like you shoot into things and can swing and stuff. I think they're going to just let us go crazy with it, man. And hopefully they don't, not to pick on Horizon Call of the Mountain again, but when it came to the grappling hook thing, it was kind of like you swung it, and it just felt very scripted, for lack of a better word. Like, it just didn't feel like I was in control. It felt like I was just going like this, and then it was just kind of pushing me along, and then I let go and stuff. this, I'm hoping they really give us a lot of freedom with this swinging and stuff and this grappling hook. Even if it means like I'm gonna fly off the side of a cliff and die a thousand times, I'm totally cool with that if it feels good and is gives me lots of freedom. But yeah, man, the grappling hooks and everything, and then of course climbing and defeating these giant behemoth things, these bosses. I don't know if they have a name for them yet, but yeah, this is very much like I think it's an RPG. Let me fact check myself real quick. Behemoth VR. It's been a while since I've kind of researched this game or done a deep dive on this, but this is, guys, without a doubt, for when it comes to 2023 at this time, this is 110% my most anticipated game coming to PSVR2. Sink into an all-new world of dangers, survival, and mystery from the creators of The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, and Behemoth. Take on the role of a diseased wanderer lost in the frigid, forsaken lands, overcome dangerous environments, deadly warriors, and towering behemoths using immersive, weighty VR combat and lifelike physics. Travel through strange, otherworldly environments and overcome all, no matter how large. I thought there was something else that said kind of a little bit better example of what it was, or if it was an RPG kind of specified, but Behemoth is planned for Q4, I think, Q4 2023. So should be, yes, is going to be coming to this year. Glacius Dreams brings up a good point, though, and says it's coming to Quest. Yeah, that's kind of concerning. That usually would be. But again, Saints and Sinners 2 proved otherwise. What I've learned, what at least when it comes to Saints and Sinners, what they do is like they just sacrifice everything they need to make it run on Quest. You don't have to do that on PSVR 2, and they didn't compromise the game itself, at least from anything that's super noticeable. They didn't make any huge compromises to the game that were felt when playing Saints and Sinners 2 on PSVR 2. It felt like a completely different game. Well, you say it holds the game back. I mean, how? Like, what? We don't, obviously not with this, but how did it hold Saints and Sinners back? Because Saints and Sinners was basically the PC VR game brought to PSVR, and then it was ported to Quest last. I don't see how this is really. I know what you mean. Like in several cases, a game being developed for the least common denominator can obviously create some issues. I have that concern as well. I don't really think I have that concern for this game. I think this game will still kick ass. It'll just look and run like shit on the Quest 2. And then, but be the same game overall. Just have probably just worse everything. But yeah, which is kind of what happened with Saints and Sinners Chapter 2. Like the Quest version was rough. It was not good. The first game was fine, but Chapter 2 was awful on Quest 2. But yeah, man, I of course got to give some love to Synapse as well. I actually have a whole list of games. So these are the list of games that I think are coming, all supposed to be 2023. There's Hello Neighbor Search and Rescue, which is still up for pre-order. I actually am kind of excited to play Hello Neighbor Search and Rescue. I think it looks pretty good. I played if you have PlayStation Premium or whatever, there's the original Hello Neighbor game, and I don't know, man, that game is kind of growing on me. Yes, at first I was kind of like, I don't know about this art style and whatnot, but it's kind of charming. It kind of grows on you. Firmament is a good one, SB. Thank you. I need to add that to the list, actually. Firmament. Yeah. Oh, so I'm so glad you mentioned that. Oops, crap. So actually, I got some additional info. I'm so glad you mentioned that, man. Thank you. Let me pull up my email here. Let me make sure I'm really careful about this. There's Brian and I talked about we talked about Firmament a little bit, and I had, like a dummy, I completely missed some super important information and extra details about Firmament that we are going to bring up. Oh shit. Now, So check this out. Let's take a look. Let's jump into my emails real quick. Browser. Why is that not on there? Let's see here. What am I doing here? What the heck is going on? Oh, I guess I have to have... There we go. Here we go. All right. Oh, let's get this VR skater thing off the screen. So, and then we can zoom in here some. So there's some additional details about Firmament that's pretty cool. So Firmament is a steampunk visual feast with thrilling new sights to see around every corner, which can be seen in both standard screen and VR. Explore 3 realms of Firmament, each with secrets and mysteries to reveal in this puzzle adventure adventure featuring deep storytelling and rich world building. What purpose do these seemingly abandoned realms serve? What are the giant mysterious machines scattered throughout the world? And can you trust the apparition who accompanies you on your journey? So there's a little bit of new info that they added. I missed this stuff down here from the announcement summary. There's some game features here that sound pretty cool. So we already mentioned the steampunk world. By the way, this game graphically looks excellent. They mentioned something that I both thought was funny and thought was really good to see. And they say, solve puzzles with a silent companion. The adjunct, a helpful clockwork companion, will help you solve puzzles. It doesn't speak, thank freaking God, but it understands you and your hand gestures. Together, you'll form a vocabulary of gestures that will help you solve challenges together and understand the epic nature of what lies ahead. So let me just tell you guys, I am very relieved. I am very relieved that it is a silent companion. I cannot stand these companions that they give you in VR games, and most games probably in general, that just don't shut up, don't stop talking, that try to have personality, try to give you tips, try to make robot jokes or whatever. I'm so sick of it, man. I'm so sick of it. It's fine on paper. It is just done to death and it sucks. It does not work. So really, really happy. And the fact that it like communicates with you with hand gestures is also pretty cool. Journey with an apparition. You're also joined by a mysterious apparition with a story of her own. This apparition appeared with a message from the woman that left you the adjunct. So already a nice little kind of plot and setting. You've got this thing given to you by somebody who's kind of like a mysterious person. She planned to mentor you, but something has gone terribly wrong. Reveal a realms spanning mystery. So those are just kind of the few features that really stood out to me. Seems like it's got a nice story driven thing going on here. And of course, like the gameplay looks great. The game looks fantastic. But yeah, I'm really, really excited about this one coming out soon, but coming to PSVR2 later. But yeah, man. And then, like I said, so some other games real quick. We got Pixel Rip 1978 on the way, which looks really, really fun. I'm actually very excited about that. Again, another one where if you really dive into the trailer, it looks really cool. Very excited about that. The Foglands looks decent. It's another roguelike shooter with like a Western theme, kind of cartoony art style. I don't know how I feel about it yet, but we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Ghostbusters VR looks pretty cool. A lo-fi should be a cool experience. Synapse, like I said. Let's just go down the list. Firmament, Green Hell VR, Hello Neighbor Search and Rescue, Ultra Wings 2, Hellsweeper, Crossfire Sierra Squad, Aces of Thunder, Firewall Ultra, Hubris, Walkabout Mini Golf, Humanity, Journey to Foundation, Foglands, Pixel Rip, 1978, Lo-Fi, Nock, Ghostbusters, and Synapse. This is just basically what we know at this time that is coming out that I think are the most exciting games for this year. There's going to be more announcements, trust me. There's stuff that, like I said, I know about some that are going to be a great surprise to many people. Yeah, man. And then, of course, we're going to be waiting for Sony to give us the next big, like, AAA first party thing that gets everybody's attention. So awesome stuff, man. Well, that is going to wrap it up for today. This has been Interactive Chat Volume 23. I'm going to do my best to do this show every single week, every Thursday. And yeah, man, just really, again, thank you guys so much for supporting and getting us all to 10K. I'm really proud of you guys, man, for just being freaking awesome and just, man, I'm so lucky to get to enjoy PSVR2, something I love dearly, with all of you lovely people, man. It's awesome, man. Well, you guys have a wonderful rest of the night, and I will see you again very, very soon. And Corey Massey says, AJ, how dare you not include RE4 Remake VR? That's true, man. I don't actually know if RE4 Remake is coming 2023, but if it is, I would say it's my number one most anticipated 2023 title. It's the only thing I would put above Behemoth, because RE is just incredible in VR. It's just amazing. So awesome stuff, man. Hopefully we get some more news on that soon at some point. That'll maybe be the next big showcase thing. That's definitely showcase worthy. So, well, all right, guys, you have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for coming to chat with me, coming to hang out, enjoy some PSVR news. Thank you to my moderators. Shout out to the Patreon crew. Thank you guys for supporting me on there as well. It helps a lot. Lets me just buy all the games and play them for you guys for Saturday Night live stream. So thank you. It really, really helps. Oh, I missed a tip. Hold on. And thank you to, of course, those who tip. Before we get out of here, we're going to get out of here with a question from Stupid Donkey with the $5 donation. Thank you, man. Sorry, I almost missed that. It says, do you prefer button reloading and crouching for Firewall or no? I personally, because I'm lazy. I prefer manual reloading with, like, popping out the clip, putting the new one in, cocking the gun. Even if it comes with, like, fumbling the stuff sometimes, I'm totally fine with that. It's more immersive. Crouching, on the other hand, I prefer a button. Just like how I prefer joysticks for turning and running and stuff. So it's both. I like to have my immersion and eat it too. I prefer manual reloading and stuff. Absolutely. It is super important for VR for me. I don't think it's a deal breaker yet. We'll find out whether I feel like it's a deal breaker or not. I don't think it is so far. But then also I prefer button crouching because I don't want to lay on my floor. I mean, I don't know. I think if we all had 20 by 20 rooms that were completely empty, I think we'd all enjoy running around and crouching by laying on the floor. But I don't have a 25. I have a lot of space and I'm nervous as hell. I'd still be super nervous as hell about physically crouching, like bashing my head. You've also got the cable, you could get like rip that out or something. It's not there yet, man. And plus, I think even if I had the option, I think I would still, I don't want to like have to jump down on my belly every time I want to No, give me a freaking button, man. It is totally fine. All right, guys. Well, you have a wonderful rest of the night. Thank you so much once again. Keep growing the PSVR2 army. Keep playing them games. And I will see you guys again very, very soon. You guys are the best, man. Later, y'all. Let's get out of here with some metal. Maybe. If the metal works. Is the metal going to work? There we go. Cheers. Bye for reals this time. Thank you, Mark Smith, Silver Nexus, Tom, Hector Robles, Chrome Cat, Awesome Tatum, Nihilus, Ryan, World Hayes. Good to see you, man. Corey Massey, thank you all